Hi guys, and welcome to day 49. Today, out of our Daily Bread devotional, the Lord detests lying lips, and He delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 12:22. Acting with integrity, in a moment of distraction, Sarah unknowingly dropped her diamond engagement ring into a homeless man's cup. Billy Ray, the panhandler who was given the ring, had it appraised and considered selling it, but he chose his honesty and returned it to Sarah when she came back a few days later. Sarah and her husband had set up a fund so donations could be made to help Billy Ray, which led to an outpouring of generosity from others. Billy Ray received financial and legal counsel and was eventually able to buy a home. He was also reunited with his long-lost family. When we practice integrity, we please God and inspire others. Solomon says, God delighted in his integrity. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights to people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 12:22. He uses strong language to describe God's view of dishonesty. He detests it. When God's people lie or deceit is in their hearts, it defiles him and goes against his character. In contrast, when his people have truthful lips and deal faithfully, it brings him joy. So treating others well is more than just telling the truth. It reflects God's own character. And in a world where deception can seem profitable, our integrity is something he delights in. Let's commit to act with integrity as God helps us, even if the world doesn't notice. He's delighted when we walk in his ways. And then day 49 out of 60 days of prophecies. The dictator from hell. Prophetic connection. The Antichrist's rise to power will mirror that of many dictators from history, but with much greater consequences. The Antichrist will become the epitome of a man with a compulsion to extend his domination all over everything and everyone. To achieve this, the Antichrist will bow to no god, but be the god of fortresses. Daniel 11:38. That is, he will build enormous military might and engage in an extensive warfare to extend his powers throughout the world. Daniel 11:36 describes the swollen megalomania of the Antichrist will drive him to his next step. John expands on Daniel's description of the Antichrist blasphemous acts by telling us that every living person will be required to worship this man. He is granted power to give breath to the image of the beast. That image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Revelation 13:15. Step by step, the Antichrist will promote himself from a European leader to a world leader to a tyrant, global dictator, and finally to a god. The Antichrist will grip on a global power that will long last. However, the world will become increasingly discontented, and the leadership of this global dictator. Major segments of the world will begin to assemble their own military forces and rebel against him. In the time of the end, the king of the south shall attack him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, horsemen, and many ships. Daniel 11:40. John Walvoord pinpoints the source of this army and describes the magnitude of the initial thrust against the Antichrist. Daniel's prophecy describes a great army from Africa, including not only Egypt, but other countries of that continent. This army, probably numbering in the millions, will attack the Middle East from the south, and at the same time Russia and other armies to the north will mobilize, and another powerful military force will descend on the Holy Land and challenge the world dictator. Though Russia will have a severe setback after about 4 years earlier in the prophetic sequence of events, she apparently will have been able to recoup her losses enough to put another army in the field. The Antichrist will put down some of these first attempts at rebellion against him, but before he can celebrate and move toward his goal of destroying Israel and Jerusalem, something almost unthinkable will happen. Remember, with the power of Satan behind him, the Antichrist will not be able to escape the consequences of his broken promises. Just as it is now, the truth of God's word will be the only truth able to stand upon. Hope you guys have a good day.